Hello, I'm Professor Goose, and welcome to the world of Pokemon Nuzlocke. This world is inhabited by creatures called Pokemon that people keep to battle, and unlike others, where when they faint, you get to keep them as friends, in this world, they are never heard from again. Was that a little too dark? Well, let me explain. So, if you've been in the Pokemon community within the last decade, you've probably heard the term Nuzlocke. But do you know how we got there and what exactly it stands for? Well, in 2010, Nick Franco, while he claims that he was trying to procrastinate college work, understandable, came up with what he dubbed Pokemon Hard Mode, and he started making a comic that reflected on his adventures. One of the Pokemon that was showing up in the comic was a Nuzleaf that he drew to resemble John Locke, who was a character from a TV show that was pretty popular at the time called Lost. And for all of those too young to remember, because I guess it's now been a long time ago since that show was on the air, it was a popular show that is known for having a very bad ending, and that's probably about all you need to know. Anyway, back to Pokemon. If you didn't put it together, the name for the Nuzlocke comes from the Nuzleaf's Nuz and the last name of the character John Locke in Locke. So there we got Nuzlocke. The basic rules are as follows. If your Pokemon faints in a battle, it is dead and you can no longer use it going forward while you play. You can only catch the first Pokemon on each route slash area, whatever you want to refer to them as. And if you fail to catch that Pokemon, you do not get any, as they call it, an encounter for that route. No additional members on your team are added. And a rule that is fairly common, though not exactly 100% required, is that you have to nickname each of your Pokemon. The intention being you're going to get sentimentally attached and feel even more devastated when they inevitably die and you can no longer use them for the rest of your run. From this basic rule set, though, has spawned a variety of different other options that people play. The most extreme of which that I'm aware of is what's referred to as a Kaizo Ironmon run, where you don't just catch one Pokemon per route, you get one Pokemon to do the run with, and you only get to use one Pokemon while you're playing, as well as having additional other restrictions around the ability to heal and what types of moves can be used depending on the level of difficulty they call it. I might call it insanity. I have never thought to try and do that kind of run, but it's certainly grown in popularity over the last few years as people looking for more and more difficulties. Since Nuzlocking is now about 15 years old, it can almost drive. That's wild. For me, when I've done it, I normally am using what is referred to as the hardcore Nuzlocking rules, mostly because that's all I've ever played. Because the first time I did it, we did a Nuzlocke race against my friends, and one of them had already done it and claimed, well, we need to do it this way. So we were stuck, and I've just never gone back to try any of the other simpler methods. So for the hardcore Nuzlocke, the additional rules on top of what I've already listed above is you can use no healing items in battle. You have a level cap to the ace of the gym leader or the elite four member you're going against, or depending on how you're doing levels up, you go to the third member's ace of the elite four. There's a little bit of variation on that one, and you have to have it on set mode. So that means that the only way you can swap out a Pokemon is to have another one potentially go in and have to take the hit when it enters. Speaking of me playing Nuzlocks, if you want to check it out, I am probably doing some variation of it on Twitch on Saturday nights. So come hang out, please. Please. There's also a lot of other varieties in how you acquire Pokemon in Nuzlocke. One of them is the Egg Lock, where creators will have fans send in Pokemon hidden inside of an egg, and they will hatch that Pokemon as their encounter rather than catching it in the wild. which allows them to create a little more chaos in their gameplay. There's also the Wonder Lock, which is very similar, but it allows those that don't have a large group of people to send them in encounters to then catch a Pokemon, trade it using the Wonder Trade feature that's existing in most Pokemon games, and you get who knows what. Could be anything. Could be a boat. Another one that is very, very popular and it's become much more prominent over the years due to the fact it allows a multiplayer aspect is the Soul Link. In this one, it's all of the regular rules. You can add on the hardcore ones that I brought on earlier, or any other ones you want. But the main takeaway is that each Pokemon that you encounter is tied to that of your teammates. So every single route, you each catch a Pokemon, and if that Pokemon faints, your partner's faints as well. No matter what was happening in the battle, no matter how strong it is, you could have a Ho-Oh and they could have a Remoraid. And when that Remoraid goes down, your friend is losing their Ho-Oh. Another one that me and my friends have done a few times is a draft lock, where instead of having encounters that we get throughout the game, we draft Pokemon before we even start. And this allows you to build teams, create plans, and really map out your gameplay. And we've also found this is very helpful when we want to have a competition against each other where we race to see who can complete the game first. I have also come across in my research for this video a challenge that I think I will probably be trying in the near future, which is a Apocalock. Apparently, it allows you to randomly select a different apocalypse theme that determines not only what Pokemon you can get, but it narrows them down to very specific types that survive some sort of natural disaster. And the amount of randomness and selectiveness that this looks like this is going to create is definitely something I think I'm going to try in the future. Also, it lets me roll dice, and I like Dungeons and Dragons, so rolling dice is pretty fun. Let me tell you, you should roll more dice. Roll as many dice as possible. It's fun. Creation of Nuzlocke challenges has created a great reminder that games are supposed to be fun. You can experience a game completely different from how somebody else goes about it. You can impose challenges on yourself. You can make things more difficult or easy. The important thing is that you're enjoying the time that you're spending playing the games. And this has allowed people to do that with games that they grew up with, even as Pokemon continues to develop and change some of its formulas or some of the things that you may not enjoy. It lets you keep being a part of this community and a part of this franchise that you have grown up with and enjoy. But don't worry, you can do that in your own way. It doesn't matter. Just make sure that you're out there and you're having fun. Oh, yeah. Also, I guess I was supposed to do those engagement things at the end of a video. So if you could like this video if you thought it was any use, and if you want to see any more content like this going forward, hit that subscribe button. I'm hoping to output more in the future, and those kind of things help indicate that it's kind of worthwhile for both you and me to do that. All right, well, I hope that going over some of the history and updates as to where we have progressed with Nuzlocking has been of interest, and that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.